do 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 do. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Why, it's wonderful to see you. It's almost like I haven't been live for a while because I really haven't. Yeah, we did Your Music Live this week, but this is a little bit of a more casual, relaxed kind of chat. You can tell by the fact that I got Homer going on here. Yes, I'm just back from holidays, back from vacation, and feeling energized and relaxed. And tell you what, if there's one thing that I would highly recommend, that is to take a break from whatever your day to day is. Even if your day to day is creating music and hanging out talking with you wonderful folks, just taking a break from what you're doing refreshes, reinvigorates, revitalizes, and gets you ready to rock and roll once again. So my energy level is at as close to 100% as it's been in a very long time. And that's not to say that I was phoning it in. I kind of was before I left, but no, it was. It is great to have a break, but it's great to see all of you wonderful people again. What are we talking about here on the show today? Well, yes, May the 4th be with you. As Mark has said already, for those who are still in the 4th, it was the 4th yesterday. It's the 5th of May here in Australia, but it is the evening or the afternoon, depending where you are in the world. And I hope you are doing extremely well. Today, again, we're going to be pretty casual. We're going to answer some questions. I'm just going to give you a bit of an update on what's been going on around here, and we're just going to keep it casual, keep it relaxed, and keep it chilled. I would like to point you here, though. This is my website. Many folks ask me a lot of questions, and they say, how do I get to here? How do I get to there? How do I get to everywhere? And the answer is studiolivetoday.com. And I don't really promote my own webpage very often, but everything Studio Live Today is here. All the ways to get in touch, all the ways to contact me. Check out me on YouTube and all the podcasts and the live shows and the Twitter and the Discord and all the Facebook groups, and everything is here, including down the side here, archives going all the way back to January of 2016. Yeah, we've been doing this a while. We've been here for a while, and there's a heap of articles and videos and posts and all sorts of things on there for your viewing pleasure. All right, let's take it out to the folks who are here live, and then we will dive in. But as we say with all of these shows, if you do have a question, all you need to do for me is that. Just put a big chunky Q or the word question in caps at the start. I got a few things I'm going to rant about and talk about. I'm never short of a word, which is weird. I used to be the quietest child in the class. I was very much not the class clown. I was the class nerd who sat in the corner saying nothing. So I'm making up for it in my later years by saying everything. We'll say good day to the folks we have here live. Hello to Mark Bro. Hello to Jade Star. I hope you are doing well. Good day, Frank Terzo. Patrick Moonbird. Haven't seen you around the place for a while. Hope you're doing well up there in Canada. Still producing music. Submit a song to YML, Patrick. I've seen you've been making some more music, but we haven't played your music on Your Music Live for a while. So submit us some songs. Good day to Joe and Barry Glenn. I hope you are doing well. Did I see the Lily Pilly sneaking on in there? Hello, Manny and the Lily Pillies. I will do live stream very soon. In fact, I will do it right now because that's what I'm doing right here and right now. G'day, Trevor Vera. Hope you are doing well as well. I see the Falcro in there as well. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I hope you are all doing well. Axe me anything. Yes, axe. You can axe me or you can ask me. You can do whatever you want to do. Very cool. Yeah, send something new. If anyone would like to, if you're not familiar with our show, Your Music Live, and I'm imagining many of you are, but if you're new to the channel and maybe you haven't been around for a while, I do a weekly live independent music show, which is all about you, and it's called Your Music Live. In fact, if I come over here to me search, if you search my name, Pete Johns Your Music Live, there's our big 3rd anniversary show. That's coming up in about a month's time, so get ready for that one. But I think it's episode 151 we got coming up this week. There it is. So yeah, you can set yourself a reminder. Look, I'm gonna pre-like my own show. That's how I roll around here. But I'm gonna throw a link to this right here in the chat, so you can set yourself a reminder. And if you want to submit a song, it's as easy as this. You type in these words. You go studiolivetoday.com/YML. That stands for Your Music Live. And what that does is it'll take you straight into this little Google form. This is the official submission form of Your Music Live. All you need to do is throw in your details here. It's very simple. Your artist name, your email address, your link to your song, and then just 1 or 2 sentences. And then just tick this little yes button. That says, okay, Pete, you can play my song. Because if I don't get this, this is basically my get out of jail free card, that if you come at me afterwards and say, Johns, I didn't give you permission to play my song, I can say, yeah, you did. You filled in the form. So yeah, feel free to go and submit a song there if you haven't before, or if you have. We've got a bit of a backlog at the moment because it's been a while. I've been away, which I'll talk about in just a jiffy. G'day to Kevin Whitson. I hope you are well, my friend. Who else did I see? I saw Mr. Russ, 8889. Thank you for being here. G'day, Chris Keppel. Hello to you and to everyone. And Brad Example, I saw you pop on in there as well. Thank you all for being here. So, yeah, what's been going on around here? Well, I've just got back from the US of A, as you can tell by the Vegas Golden Knights cap here. I went to Las Vegas, and as you can, well, you probably wouldn't know unless you've been to Universal Studios, but I went to Disneyland and then Universal Studios. So I'm rocking my Homer. I was going to get a Duff Beer t-shirt, which was like the sort of stuff I'd normally wear, like a grey t-shirt with Duff Beer, and I thought, you know what? Go hard or go home. So I ended up buying Homer's face. So now I can be Homer wherever I go. Chat is weird here. Hi. Everything is weird here. Weird is good. Don't forget. You want to be weird. You don't want to be the same as everyone else. Hola, House Merlot. I hope you're doing well. A bit early from Merlot here, but thank you for joining us. So, yeah, I didn't talk much about the trip before I went away for a few reasons. I just wanted some complete disconnection, quiet, private time. I did know that because I went to California and then to Nevada, I did know that there's some folks in the community here that were in California, and I'm sorry that I didn't sort of reach out. Unfortunately, that the timeline was so compressed, I just had zero additional time, and I figured it was easier just to go have the trip come back and then say, sorry, California folks, that we didn't catch up. But yeah, we just didn't have any additional time because we crammed in Disneyland, Universal Studios, went over to Vegas. We saw the Beatles Love Show, Cirque du Soleil, which was amazing. Really good stuff there. Went to see the Tournament of Kings, like the jousting thing at the Excalibur. Kids had a great time. Me and my wife had a great time. Had some challenges along the way. Long haul flights are not my favorite thing in the world. We nearly missed a flight in LA because of traffic. If you know, Santa Monica is where we're staying, and Santa Monica to LAX should be, and according to Uber, an hour beforehand, was going to be like a 20-minute ride. Ended up taking nearly an hour, and then we had to frantically run in. We couldn't do the self-serve thing at the airport because we had paper tickets, because international travel had to find someone very nice who managed to check our bags through and get us on the plane in time. So nearly didn't make it to Vegas, but we got there. And everyone in the family had gastro. So gastro, or stomach flu, I think you'd call it in some places. So yeah, we had that as a bit of a challenge. That was in Anaheim and then in Santa Monica. So we did miss one day of LA sightseeing. So we didn't get up to the Hollywood sign. It's just some letters on a hill, as Tim Minchin said. So we didn't do that, and we didn't get around to sort of the Hollywood, what is it, like the Rodeo Drive and the hands in the ground and all that sort of stuff. But we did a bunch of stuff. It was very cool. Yeah, and then it was Las Vegas. We weren't quite down at Venice Beach, but we were right on there in Santa Monica, where the original Muscle Beach is, the Santa Monica Pier, and all of that jazz. And yeah, good times. And then Las Vegas, which was yeah, very interesting. That was very cool. We stayed down. I deliberately wanted to stay downtown at Fremont Street for a couple of nights because every evening they do their big light show there with the Fremont Street Experience. But now they have live music. They had some amazing bands, like playing covers mostly because, you know, that's what drunk people want to hear, right? Cover songs. But yeah, it was great to hear that live music. Had a really good sound system. Yes, could hear it from our hotel room at night till about 2 in the morning that it went to, so it's a little loud. So then we went down to the Las Vegas Strip to relax and stayed at the Horseshoe right in the middle of the Strip there. Had a good old time. So I'm sure I'll talk and rant more about my trip and about what went down. Someone was emailing me, and I was trying to describe. They're like, "What did you think of the US?" And I was like, "The US is awesome. It's weird. It's wacky. It's strange. Yet it's kind of similar and familiar. It's everything all at once. US is kind of like the 80s." And I'll explain that. I always talk about the 80s as being unapologetically what it was and what it is. And I think the US is kind of that way as well. It's unapologetically just what it is, and it's like, you're here. This is how we are, and I kind of respect that. I kind of appreciate that. You don't have to walk around thinking, "Gee, I wonder what this country is thinking." It's all out there on display. But it was a very cool time and had a blast. So thank you for all the folks who've wished me well. And I'm back. And I'm only, yeah, and now I need to get back to work to work off because it wasn't cheap. That's the one thing I will say about the US is that the last time we went to Vegas, it was great because it was really cheap. It was like a cheap place to go, five-star hotels for $100 a night and, the $12.99 buffet. Well, the hotel rooms are like 300 a night now, and the buffets are about $27 a person. So it's changed. You've changed, Vegas. You're no longer the cheap place that I remember enjoying. Thank you, Patrick. Yes, thanks for submitting. We'll get the next couple of shows all set and ready to roll. G'day, Mars Capone. Sit there in lurk mode. American Food and Water will mess with you. Yes, it did. Look, it was. It wasn't surprising. It was obviously a bug. It wasn't just the food but yeah, one of the biggest challenges we had is coming from Australia, where fresh food is like everywhere, and living in a city in a state where we're surrounded by like farmland, so fresh food is just pumping in. And then you go to like LA and Vegas, where yeah, just finding a salad that wasn't just bread and cheese was a special order. So it was that was a little bit challenging, and we did realize that we had to switch to bottled water because the tap water was no bueno. Yeah, I know, and I know. I thought about that. I thought about Vortex in Vegas. I thought about folks like Josh Gates in LA, and again, if we didn't have such a jam-packed schedule, but I'll be back. I will be back again. I got to make the next one a business trip because this one was 100%. In case the taxation department are listening, this one I'm not going to claim anything on tax. This was 100% just a holiday. But next time I come, I'll line it up with like the NAM show or some sort of. And see if I have a couple of meetings. If I meet Vortex in Vegas, I can come to Vegas for a week, surely. And as long as I have one meeting with Vortex and we talk about mobile music creation, I reckon I'm good, yeah? I'll go on record now as saying that. Did we get In and Out burgers? No, we didn't make it to In and Out. We tried a few of the different fast food franchises, but no, In and Out was something that I did mean to try. And what was the other one? Fat Burger. I mean, again, what was I saying about the US just being like the 80s? It is what it is. Fat Burger. You know what? No hiding behind what you're actually putting out there when you call your restaurant Fat Burger. Yeah. USA is Australia on steroids. It really is. It's just, it's just over the top versions of all the things that are food. That's why I said it's really wacky and really different, but actually kind of familiar because it is. Like, if you go into the city here, it's like a 10% version of some of the cities that we visited. And I'm sure, look, again, full disclosure, we were down the tourist end of town. So I 100% realised that if you came to Australia and you just went to Darling Harbour in Sydney, or you just went down Bourke Street Mall, or you just went to the CBD of Adelaide, you get a very different experience than actually living there. So I know that while it was challenging for me, we did find a Trader Joe's. That was our godsend in LA, in Santa Monica. We found a Trader Joe's and we stocked up on fresh food, and it was so nice because I couldn't even find a fresh juice anywhere else, like just fresh orange juice that wasn't pre-packaged and processed. It was really tricky. But as soon as I found that Trader Joe's, I was like, my home. I want all of it. Where is my Mickey Mouse hat? I forgoed the Mickey Mouse hat. I don't think I bought anything Disney at all. The kids and my wife went with the Disneyland stuff, so I think they got the hats and the souvenirs and the toys and the pins and all the rest of it. Disneyland was okay, but it was for the kids. So Disneyland was for the kids. Universal was kind of more for me, so that's where I got the Homer T-shirt and bought a few other things at Universal. But the Disney was very much exactly what you think it was. Really expensive, lining up for everything, but a good time and an experience that we had to do because I wanted to sneak into the US in 2023, so that because who knows what 2024 will bring, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But the kids were at the right age, 13 and 11, to go and do all of this. And at 14 or 15, my eldest daughter will probably not really think it's that cool going and hanging out with mum and dad for a couple. I think by the time she got home, she spent the last like 3 or 4 days just in her room by herself because I think she was craving a little bit of alone time after that. Well, that's the thing. It's the same everywhere, and unfortunately, the economy has done two things. It's made it harder to make money, especially as an entrepreneur, but everything is more expensive. So thanks for that economy. But it swings and roundabouts, isn't it? It'll all come back around eventually. I'm a 50-minute flight from Vegas. Yeah, the LA to Vegas flight was so quick. You got up to cruising altitude, and then like, okay, we're about to start our descent, and you go straight back down again. But hey, it's still better than the 6-7 hour drive from LA to Vegas that it would be. I'll take it. I'll take it. Yeah, or look, when we go to we went to Bali, there was you couldn't. They recommended, look, when you're having a shower, don't, when you're washing your hair, make sure you don't get any water in your mouth. And I'm like, oh, geez, okay, that's next level. But yeah, in the US, we just assumed that and look, it was fine in some places, not fine in others. So again, we went the bottled water, but man, the amount of plastics. Whew, that was another thing. Won't go there, but oh, yeah. Look, we have similar challenges here in Australia, but we've got things like bans on plastic bags, and you can't have plastic straws or plastic utensils or anything. But yeah, in America, every time we got a takeout or a to-go order, you open the bag and you just pour it out, and it's like 14. Literally, one time we counted 14 ketchup packets, something like 26 napkins that were in there, and we ordered like two people's worth of food. It was a little intense. Thank you, Facebook user. Yeah, sorry, I've put this stream out to everywhere just to say g'day to everyone, but the Facebook's integration won't come in. So whomever you are on Facebook, hello. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, if I come to Seattle, I'll buy you dinner. Well, yeah, that's right. Maybe I'll have to get up there. I think DistroKid have an office in Seattle, so maybe maybe I'll go a work trip and visit Doug and visit DistroKid as well. I'll just scrolling down, just making sure I'm saying it. G'day to everyone. How long was the flight? Yeah, Disney is crazy crowded. Yes. So to give you a bit of an idea of the timing of everything, we will get into any other things. If you've got questions as we go, do let me know. We will get into some actual channel and music related stuff. Maybe not. But the flight itself, so we flew out of here, and it was a 2-hour flight up to Brisbane, and then we spent a couple of hours in Brisbane, and then it was a 12.5-hour flight from Brisbane to LA. So the actual travel time, including stopovers and things, was close to 20 hours between where we left Adelaide and when we landed in LAX. And then we went down to Anaheim, spent 3 nights down in Anaheim, did California Adventure and Disneyland, changed hotels up to Santa Monica, during which time both me and my oldest daughter had a gastro. So we were traveling in the back of this nice man's SUV with like bags in front of us. Yeah, it was really pleasant. Yeah, LA traffic, hour trip, Anaheim to Santa Monica. Anyway, so we did that, did Universal, hung around Santa Monica Pier, then flew to Vegas and did all our things there. So the Vegas flights were only an hour. The big trek was the way home, where it was, I think, 21 hours total travel time. So we had to fly an hour, Vegas to LA. Thankfully, I rejoined the Qantas Club, which is like the airport lounge thing, just before we left. I used to be a member back when I used to fly all the time corporately, and then I stopped for 3 years because I hadn't flown anywhere for 3 years. So I rejoined that, which meant we could actually we had a 4-hour layover in LA. So we spent 4 hours just, drinking craft beers and eating delicious food in the airport lounge there. So that was cool. But then we had the big flight, which was the 14.5-hour flight from LA to Sydney, and then just an hour and a half Sydney to Adelaide. So yeah, I've had enough of airports. I've had enough of sitting in planes. I've had enough of all that jazz. I'm ready. I've been out walking. I've been doing so much walking the last few days. And after this show today, I'm going to go for a big long walk down by the river, get some fresh air. Even though it's going to be raining and 12 degrees, I don't care. I'm out there now because I spent so much time cooped up in hotel rooms and in planes. And again, first world problems. Let me just say that right out there on Front Street. It's like, oh no, poor Johns. He had to spend time on his vacation sitting in a plane and in an airport lounge. Yeah, I get it. 100% first world problems. That's it. Yeah, Universal was great. Probably preferred Universal. Well, I definitely preferred Universal over Disney. I think the kids liked Disneyland because they just liked the It's a Small World after all. The It's a Small World, I was skeptical, but the sound design, and I know I'm a giant sound nerd, but the sound design in that thing was next level. So going through there with like the different country, if you don't know it, you go on a boat and you float through and there's a bunch of really small annoying characters singing It's a Small World after all. But the way they transition between the different musical styles and the different regions is actually really cool. And there's some really good like stereo effects and things because it's on one side and then it's on the other side, and it kind of perfectly blends and fades between styles. So I don't know. I was looking for the good in everything, and that was what I found there. I've been to Australia early 80s, 1980s. Well, there's an old joke about Australia that it wouldn't matter if it was the 1980s or the 1880s because we're so backward. Yeah. It is different now. We've become a lot more Americanized, I guess. Here, there's a lot less of a culture gap. Like the first time I went to the US was in 2003, and there was a significant, well, not as significant, but a much bigger culture gap and culture shock between the two. Even though in that time, TV portrayed America in a very similar way to what it actually was. But with the internet now, with the amount of people that I chat with and that I know in the US, it is there's no surprises. Basically, I know everything about how things work. I know everything about what goes on. So, yeah, it wasn't a small. It wasn't a big change to do that. Bonjour Lila, bonjour Marc, salut, salut. Ah, voilà Natalie, salut Natalie. Sorry, that was a French book. It used to be like, it's like salut Marc, ah voilà Paul, salut Paul. Yeah. I hope you're doing well. Water is what you, yeah, exactly. Water is what your body gets used to, and I think I knew going in that I don't do well with some of the food in America. Like we did fine, but yeah, some of the stuff. There's a much higher salt, sugar, and fat content in a lot of the food, even the fast food. And like I know, yeah, look, you go to McDonald's, what do you expect? But even comparatively, it's a lot heavier and there's a lot more of it. So we had to get very quickly into the habit of ordering half as much food because if we went to a cafe and all four of us got main courses or entrees, yeah, it's all over. We'd eat about a third of it. So we had to order very, very small. Cookie, hello Cookie at Canberra Airport today was -1. Yeah, it's getting a bit chilly. It's not that chilly over here. We got down to about 6 degrees last night, and it's 12. Canada will ban all plastic. Yeah, well, we've basically got a almost entire ban on single-use plastic now, which is good. So any single-use stuff has to be made of wood, or paper. So there's no plastic straws, no plastic knives, forks, spoons. But yeah, that's the thing. Yes, thank you, Leela. I did actually mean to mention that. See, what have we got? 21 minutes in, and I need our wonderful moderators to help out. But yes, if you'd like to join the fun and be the other 69 nice folks over on Patreon, please consider joining because we do some fun stuff over there. You can join for as little as $1 per month, and yeah, you get access to some posts. So you would have seen this one. So if you're wondering what was going on, our Patreons already knew. They already got a little update from me about my holiday, and look, you even get topless photos. Oh god, that just got really creepy really quickly. But yeah, that was me in Disneyland with the Matterhorn behind me. Did not go on the Matterhorn. Don't do the thrill ride thing. That was me in Universal Studios wearing this very t-shirt, having a beer in the Moe's Tavern there at Universal. That was me downtown Las Vegas under the canopy there of the Fremont Street Experience, and chilling in the pool there at the Horseshoe down on the Las Vegas Strip with the beautiful 32 degrees Celsius weather. And if you want to find out more about what goes on behind the scenes, do consider joining the Patreon at patreon.com/me, Pete Johns. Yeah, look, I got to get to Sydney. Funnily enough, the girls, their favourite part of it was actually going in the lounges, I think. They were blown away by the fact that you could just sit there and they could go and self-serve themselves lemonade and make themselves toasted sandwiches and get bowls of lollies. And we just said, yeah, go nuts. So when we got home, Charlotte, my youngest 11-year-old, she's like, where's the closest place that we can fly to? I'm like, why do you ask? She's like, because I want to fly in the afternoon, but go to the lounge first thing in the morning and just spend all day there. I'm like, okay, well, we got Melbourne or Sydney. They're both pretty close. So maybe we need a Sydney trip at some stage. Yeah, look, I agree with you, Mark. The plastic straws are just next level unusable. My girls now, like they love boba, like bubble tea, and they just have like reusable plastic boba straws that they take with them when they go because the paper ones are kind of rubbish. Someone needs to develop a straw that doesn't destroy the environment, but is actually lasts more than 10 minutes when you put it in a glass of drink. Yes, the straws are rough. Heading back to Harvey Bay. So Harvey Bay will be a little bit nicer weather this time of year than Canberra, for sure. Canberra, if you don't know, is down in the south, sort of southeast of Australia. One of the coldest places, like ball-shatteringly cold is what I was going to say, but that would be uncouth, so I won't say that. But yeah, really cold down in Canberra. Doug's over here in Clarkston. That's up in Seattle, is it? Up in the northwest? Yeah, I've never made it up that far. We've been to San Francisco. That's the highest we've been. The furthest north is New York and San Francisco. Haven't gone any further north than that, but I do need to get myself out there. And next time it really needs to include Canada. I did go to a hockey game. I went to the Anaheim Ducks and LA Kings game at the Honda Center in Anaheim. That was very cool. Very different to seeing a hockey game or even any sport here in Australia. Just the over-the-top spectacle was kind of next level. What wasn't next level was $16 for a beer and having to line up for the entire intermission to just get to the front of the line. And then when I got there and I saw the beers were $16, I'm like, I'm having one. So I was not drunk at the hockey, you can be sure of that. Back in the day, planes had to stop in Hawaii. Yeah, that's the thing. Like the long haul flights now, not in my day, but because I first went in sort of early 2000s when it was the 747s and they could do the whole 14-hour long haul. But yeah, they used to have to actually land in Hawaii to refuel to make it to LAX all the way to LA. So Mark, we didn't. A lot of people said, did you hit up Napa Valley? Did you enjoy some wine in California? I think Georgie had one bottle of Pinot, like California Pinot Grigio. What's the white one? When we were in Anaheim. But unfortunately, that was that was the night before. Everyone got sick. So not from the wine, but yeah, the sort of people are like, oh, did you guys tour wine country? And we're like, well, we're already taking the children to Las Vegas, which is not exactly the most kid-friendly place in the world. So I didn't think that the kids would like. We take them around wineries here in Australia, and it's not their favourite thing to do because really, what can you do as a kid at a winery? Like sit there and watch your parents get day drink and get slightly drunk. Yeah, maybe not. As Cookie says here. One big thing, and look, I didn't mean for this to become a, things I noticed, what's different between the US and Australia? Like, there's thousands of YouTube videos about that. But the one thing I did notice is that the level of service at places where they expect tips is phenomenal, and the level of service at places where they don't expect tips is non-existent. So if you walk into a McDonald's, don't expect anyone to talk to you or be nice to you. They're just going to do their job, throw you your food, and you leave, which is fine. You know what? I respect that because you're getting paid minimum wage and aren't getting any additional tips or anything for excellent service. But when you walk into a place, and I was blown away. Like I noticed this last time, but you walk into a cafe, and here in Australia, you walk into a cafe, and sometimes you'll be seated, but you'll just be seated by the same person that takes your order and brings you your food. It's just the wait staff are the people. But more often than not, you'll just walk in and find a table. It'll be like, yeah, just chuck yourself on a table. When you want to order, come up to the counter and order your food. Whereas in the US, you go there, there'd be the greeter, but the greeter would just say, you say table for four, and they go, okay. But then the seater would come over. They're like, yeah, Robert will take you to your seats. And then Robert would take us over and sit us down. And it'll be like, okay. I'm like, cool, Robert, let's get some drinks on. I was, oh, no, your server will be with you shortly. Like, hi, I'm Denise, I'm your server. I'm like, okay, thanks, Denise. Can we have this and this? Yeah, sure. And then Denise goes away. But then the people that bring the stuff out is someone different. And then there's a busboy that comes and takes your stuff away. And I'm like, this is five people's jobs that one person would do in Australia. So I don't know if other people have noticed that or if that's just me. But yeah, the number of people in the chain where everyone was just doing one very small task as opposed to doing multitasking within the food service. It was interesting. What did you do for Vegemite? We didn't actually take Vegemite, but I did get back and eat like 2 Vegemite sandwiches the day we got back. So I went Vegemite free for a while, and iced coffee, which are 2 things that I love. And I've been drinking and eating a lot of. I was actually I was in Wobby's World in Nunawading. I didn't actually go to the US. The photos you saw before, those are all just AI generated. I said generate 4 photos, including one without a shirt, where Pete is in LA and Vegas, and that's what they did. That was DALL-E. Yeah, all AI. Everything is AI. Trust nothing, trust no one. Hello, Darren Bryant. Please don't judge the US, but no, I won't judge it on California, and I don't, for the same reason that I don't judge the US or even Florida based on what you hear in the news about Florida. I get it. Not everyone is the same. And again, like I said before, It's the tourist stuff, isn't it? Like, yeah, if you came to Australia and you had the tourist experience, you'd think that it's all like seeing kangaroos and seeing big rocks and seeing Great Barrier Reefs and things, whereas the actual living side of it is always very different. Laurie's Mishmosh, hello to you. Yeah, we didn't make it to Mexico either, uh, which is which is a good thing. No, it's not a good thing. No, we the last time, no, what was it, 2, 3 times ago, went to Tijuana just for a day. But this time around, we stuck to the US. It was bad enough. It was challenging enough doing one set of like immigration and customs and getting in and out with our passports. That's the least favorite thing we have. Hemp. There you go. Let's get some hemp straws going on. It's true. Everything can, like hemp can make like fabric. It can make ropes. It can make all sorts of actual like hardened stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool. There are options, but we go with that. Yes, Mobile Music Pro. Yeah, Vortex has been a patron of mine for a very long time. So as have many of you. So thank you to all the fine folks who have joined a Patreon of recent. Appreciate you big time. Boba tea, Boba Fett tea, maybe not. The soggy straw is bad. Yeah, really, really bad. Some of the plastic ware is compostable if you, yeah, and that's the thing. I won't get into a big sort of rant about recycling, but we've had a big problem here in Australia because we used to do a soft plastic recycling program called Red Cycle, and they fell over about 4 years ago. Well, they started falling over 4 years ago, and they finally fell over about a year ago because what were they doing? Well, they were getting all of our plastic, storing it in warehouses, and then selling it to China. And what did China say 4 years ago? We're not taking any of your rubbish anymore. So what did they do with it? They just kept stacking it in warehouses and hoping it would go away and that the plastic fairy would come and recycle it. But it didn't happen. And, as Mars says, a lot of plastics are recyclable, but aluminium and glass are actually more infinitely recyclable. Plastic actually has a fairly high energy content in terms of how to recycle it and a low yield. So a lot of plastics will only recycle down to 50 to 70% of their original, meaning there's a lot of wastage and off run, whereas glass and aluminium are actually a lot better. So the more aluminium and glass you can drink. So don't bother about drinking plastic water bottles. Just buy glass or aluminium beer or wine and drink that instead, or bottles of tequila. Buy yourself a bottle of tequila, have a really good night, and then your bottle's going to be 100% recyclable. See? So the more you know, learning with Johns. G'day, the Mix Club. I wish I was still a fighter pilot. I could make it in 2 hours. Yeah, well, we were flying, what did we fly in? We flew in an A320 over, and we flew in a 787 Boeing, the Dreamliner, which was really nice, actually, on the way back. Both very comfortable, both a lot quicker than the old 747, and a lot less bumpy and loud than the older planes. Enjoyed it, but I hope you're doing well, Wretch. Come to Arizona in November or February. Not hot, not cold, no earthquakes, hurricanes, tornadoes. I like it. Boring. I like boring weather. I do. Boring weather is good. Let's see. I'll see. McDonald's fries. Yeah, I mean, McDonald's fries are just crack, aren't they? They're just addictive. They're just crack. The crack of food. Marmite. No, I don't do the Marmite. The Marmite, which is the pretend one. Am I real? I mean, are any of us? Are we all just in the Matrix? What do you reckon? Maybe not. Be aware that Florida's men's are real. Florida men's are real. Yeah. Yeah, look, there's weirdness going on everywhere. Headed to Florida next week. Good luck. I hope you succeed. And by succeed, I mean make it back. No, I'm sure, again, you can make anything look bad by, actually observing it and seeing what people do there. No, Florida and Floridians, I love you. I mean, Jenny and Ron, Wolfstone Studio, they're Floridians, and they're the coolest people I know. So it's not all Floridians are wackos. By the same token, that not all Australians are relaxed surfers that like patting koalas and drinking Fosters. The stereotypes are not always the case. G'day, Punkster P. I'm hearing I should release singles every 4 to 5 weeks rather than an album. Yeah, interestingly, and I'll continue going down the chat in just a minute, but I did have this on my list of things to talk about because since I've been back, I've had a couple of emails from different folks asking about releasing music and asking about, what you should do, where you should release, how you should do it. I have seen a lot more people doing exactly this, Punkster, lately, which is going down the singles route. Now, I know we can get into a big debate. A lot of people like singles, a lot of people like albums. the mas- from what I've seen, the vast majority of people that are successful are usually releasing a single about every month. So about every 4 weeks, having a single coming out, so that you've got time to build up, you've got time to release, and you've got time for people to chill a little bit. And I've chatted with Jade Star and with other folks about this lately. That if you release too much music too quickly, it doesn't become special anymore. It's like if I took the kids back to Disneyland in 6 months, they wouldn't enjoy it as much because it's not as much of an event. So make your music more of an event. Make it like Disneyland. But yeah, doing the singles and then building them into an album is what a lot of folks are doing and having success with. By the same token, you can still have albums. So folks like Thomas Christ, he does concept albums, but he'll also release singles from that concept album at a 1 or 2 month period and get stuff out there. I've also been asked lately about, yeah, where do you release to? Are ByteDance evil? Is TikTok the worst? And should you not use them because of all the data and because of all the challenges? My answer to that is pretty simple, and that is that it's probably not the people that are out there hiding in plain sight like TikTok that are causing the problems, or Meta, or Google, or Alphabet, or Apple. It's the stuff you don't know about that I'd worry more about. So, yes, you're giving away your data, but in your case, you kind of want to because you want to get your metadata out there. So, unless you're worried about ByteDance knowing who you are and a little bit like your email address, like, because really, you sign up to TikTok or you release your music on TikTok, they know your name, your album artwork, and that's about it. So you don't have to go on there and interact with people. You don't have to leave comments. You don't have to give it the name of your mother's maiden name and your firstborn child. You can just release your music there. And then if other people want to use it and they want to interact more, then they can go for it. But to me, I think there's a lot of people getting really worried about these tech companies, these big tech companies that are stealing their data and breaching their data and using their data. They're at least giving you a privacy policy and a terms of service and telling you what they're doing. I would be more worried about the nefarious folks who are grabbing your data, who are pulling your data down, who are getting your data from insecure websites because you don't have things like two-factor authentication and you haven't changed your password for the last 6 months. They're the sort of people I would worry more about. The people that you can see that are actually doing things that are making money from your data, yeah, that ain't great, but it's probably not actually as bad as the stuff that's happening under the covers, behind the scenes. Where did I get this shirt? Hello, Desolate Morning. I got this shirt at Universal Studios. Universal Studios in Los Angeles, California. So yeah, I couldn't resist buying the Homer shirt. Again, I was going to get the Duff Beer shirt just to look a bit different, but I'm going out there. People notice me. I won't get run over. No pedestrian crime happening against me. Just going to scroll down and see if we've got any other folks. Actually like Florida. Went to Palm Beach. West Palm Beach. Good luck for the wedding. Yeah, look, I'm sure there's nice places everywhere. Nice places wherever you go in the world. Marmite's the real deal. Oh, let's get into a Vegemite-Marmite war. Yeah, Vegemite is my jam, but I know it's not for everyone. I know the irony of people like Johns. Did you just complain about how much salt there is in American food, and then you went home and ate Vegemite, which is just made of salt and sadness? I'm pretty sure it's made of the tears of people that had to eat Vegemite in the last generation. They just kept that, put it in the new Vegemite, something like that. Hello, Epiphonium. I hope you are doing well, my friend. Thanks for dropping on by. Yeah, go get your stuff out there. But yeah, it's a good way to go. Release your music, get it out as many places as you can. I can't see a reason why you wouldn't. I can only release a song every 2 months. And look, that's fine too. I only released, last year I released 3 songs. So I was on an average of 4 months last year. But again, like it means that, and this year I've only released 1.5 songs, really. I did my Sink or Swim song and I completed 1%, the new version of that, but I haven't actually technically released it yet. But yeah, don't stress. Don't worry yourself. You'll be fine. You'll be fine there. You'll get there. Music thing. Yes, I recently got some plugins from Neural DSP. It's amazing. Give it a try. Yeah. So interestingly, I've been looking into being a little bit more complex with my music creation because if anything, if I could criticize myself, and I do because we all do, don't we? It's that I like things simple and I like to use stock plugins and I like to use things that are very, very straightforward. But what I've also realized is that over time, you folks, many people that have been following me for a while, are now at the point where you're at my level and now you've surpassed me and you're using a lot more complicated stuff than I am. And I'm not saying that I just need to go with the flow and keep doing that, but I think I do need to actually start getting back to playing around with more apps, playing around with more plugins, playing around with different hardware and things. So that being said, yeah, there's some new things that I need to try. So for a long time there, I was just like, no, 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 no. I didn't want to try new apps. I said, if you want to learn about apps, go watch Jade. Go watch how to app on iOS. Whereas now, I think I need to actually start exploring more of these things just because you folks are asking me about it. And if my job is nothing, if it's nothing else, it's to help. Like, and exactly as Tremor Bear said here, if you're asking about it and you want my feedback and opinion, then that's something I should be providing. So put me on notice there, Bear, that I'll get onto that. I'll get onto starting to look at some more things there as well. All right, I'm just going to go down. Not worried about hits and money. I'm independently poor. Yeah, and look, not all of us are in music for the money. I say to a lot of people, they're like, I want to be like you. I want to be a musician. I want to be a professional musician. I want to be a professional video creator. I'm like, well, yeah, I've kind of, in the nicest possible way, fell ass backwards into this. I started as a side hustle because I really enjoyed creating music. And then I learnt that I really enjoyed helping other people create music. So I really enjoyed sharing what I'd learnt with other people so that they could make music. That gave me the best sense of accomplishment and achievement. And it wasn't till 6 years in that I realized that I could probably eke out a full-time income from all the different little bits and pieces that I do as part of this channel. So I think if anyone that gets into music to be quote unquote rich or to be quote unquote successful, yeah, you're kind of putting the cart before the horse, and you're probably going to make decisions and compromises that are A, going to make you feel like you're not being true to yourself, and B, probably not work. Because there's other people that are going to have both the business acumen and the talent and passion. And then you'll just get frustrated because you're not feeling like you're as successful as they are. So you do you. This is what I'll say about that. You do you in 22. And what am I saying at 23? I'm trying to be tradie free in 23. I don't know about you, but I don't like trades people. Because they don't do the right thing. They charge me too much. I don't think they actually do what they say they're going to do. They're never on time, and they always leave a mess, and then they bill you more than you thought you were supposed to get billed for the work that they did. So, tradies for the lose. Some tradies. And if you don't know, tradies is what we call in Australia, like a handyman or a workman or someone or a handy person. Someone that will come to your property and like fix your drains or do your gutters or something like that. Something like that. Alrighty, I'm just going to scroll down and see if we've got any other questions or anyone else with anything that I need to respond to. We'll have a quick drink. Laurie says, I purchased my first plug-in ever yesterday. Then I spent 2 hours searching for them on my computer. Yeah, that can happen. And that's the other thing. When I get a new device, and I have a new device, more on that later. When I get a new device, I kind of like the fact that so many of my projects are just stock, that I can grab GarageBand on my iPod Touch, my iPhone, my iPad, my new iPad, and I can just throw things on there and it'll always work. I don't have to worry about what apps and what plugins and what things I've got installed on what. It's a nice feeling. Whereas, yeah, sometimes when you go down that plugin path, and then you got to go back and you're like, oh man, I got a new device. Which plugins does it use? And you're constantly having to update and keep things up to date. Mix Club says I'm simple too. At least I think I like SSL channel strip and compressor and verb and delay. And I hate automation. I don't think there's many people that love automation. I have a love-hate relationship with automation. It can do great things, but it gets so fiddly. And once you commit to it, you know that you're going to be tweaking and fiddling for a long time. That's why compression is just so much nicer. When you can get a compressor to do the heavy lifting for you, it means less automation, which is good. Have you checked out AudioScope with GarageBand on iOS yet? No, I haven't. I've been meaning to, and I will. Like, I actually promise that I will. I watched your video on it, Jade, the second one. I didn't go back and catch the first one, but I watched the second one on it, and it definitely looked like it can do some good things. So I just need to petrify it. I need to get a simple project, throw it on there, and play around with it till I can get my aging brain to click in with how it all works. But yeah, I definitely do need to play with it, because if you haven't been following along at home, Jade has reviewed Audioscope, which is a Four Pockets app, a plugin, and it basically lets you. It's like a routing or channel send receive feature for GarageBand. So you add it as a plugin, an AUV3 to every GarageBand track, and then it gives you the ability to have a master track, but also do some next level mixing in GarageBand, as opposed to GarageBand's very basic um, faders. Wouldn't even call them faders, sideward sliders for your volume that you never quite tell exactly what you're doing. So yeah, it's on the list, Jade. And in fact, I need to. I think I've only ever spoken to Paul once, who's the Four Pockets guy. So I might need a reintroduction, Jade, if you can help me out with Paul, because I should probably review more Four Pockets apps. Paul, I've bought some. Like I actually, on your recommendation, I've got a couple of Four Pockets apps that I just went and bought. But I should probably reach out to Paul and review some more of his apps, because he's got some great stuff over there. Yeah, if you're having fun here today, look, I didn't want to oversell it, and I needed to ease myself back into sort of the live streaming thing. So we'll be back next week with the podcast and all the usual stuff. But this week, I just wanted to have a chat. I just wanted a nice casual chat and just fill you in on what's going on around here, give you a bit of an update on what's been happening with me, and basically just reinforce the fact that if you haven't had yourself a break for a while, from whatever it is, breaking away from what you're doing and giving yourself time to miss it. So when I got back, I joked about this. I put a post on social media that I'd almost lost the calluses. They're starting to come back now. I've done some playing the last couple of days, but I'd almost lost the calluses on my fingertips. And it's the first time that had happened in 2 weeks. And by the time, in 2 weeks, in like 20 years. And by the time I got back after 2.5 weeks of not playing any music, because I didn't play music, I didn't record music, didn't do anything to do with music. I just listened to a bit of music. So for 2.5 weeks, no music. So I got back and I'd actually missed it. I actually craved playing music. I actually wanted to make music. And now I'm at the point where the creative juices are flowing, and I've got ideas, and I'm taking ideas down. And I've got videos that I'm working on now, and I've got song ideas that I want to start developing. And it wasn't that wasn't happening, but I was having to push it. Like I'm back at the pulling stuff now. I'm back having a pull. Whereas before I was having to push myself along, knowing that this is what I needed to do. Whereas now this is what I want to do. And there's a big difference there. So I think whatever it is you're doing, if you're hitting that point where you think you might burn out or you think you're close to a wall, step away. And for my fellow YouTube creators, it's not as bad as you think. Like I was worried that, the algorithm will forget me and then I won't, like, my videos will go down. But no. In fact, if anything, it reassured me that the fact that I can probably be a little bit more chilled. You might have noticed I haven't put any videos out apart from Your Music Live and this one in the last week. Getting all choked up. The reason for that is that I'm just going to ease back into this. I'm going to do when I want to, because I've worked so hard. I've worked my butt off for 7 years. I have such a back catalogue that my new video releases aren't really what it's about. It's about the previous videos. So as long as I've got the back catalogue of videos, I'm responding to comments, I'm promoting stuff through social media and getting people onto the Patreon and all that sort of stuff, it all kind of takes care of itself. For all of the crypto bros and all of the people that are like, work for yourself, passive income, man, sit on the beach and just let the money roll in. Kind of, it's the case with YouTube, because again, I got nearly 3,000 videos. Every day, people are watching those 3,000 videos and liking and commenting and subscribing and doing all the good stuff. So I guess it's just proven to myself that I was pushing a little bit of shit uphill, and I don't really need to push quite as hard. If anything, I need to reduce the quantity and maybe lift the quality a little bit. So that's what we'll be doing. And if you are in the same headspace, I promise you, a break is what you need. It really works well. Thank you. Yeah. If you wouldn't mind just reintroducing me to Paul, that'd be great. I think I've got his email somewhere. I think I've chatted to him maybe once or twice, but not in a couple of years. So he'd probably be, who's this bloke? Yeah, totally re-energized. Totally got so much more energy now than I had beforehand. And even though I could have, like, I have had breaks and I've taken little breaks, but I think at least a week. I think that's the key, because it wasn't until a week in that I finally was like, Okay, yeah. I'm not thinking about it at all because for the first 4 or 5 days, I kept thinking about it and sort of checking in, and it wasn't until a week in that I actually completely left it and went away. All right. Question from Mars Component. What are some prosumer interfaces with killer preamps if you've outgrown the UR22 or Scarlett? Well, it's a good question because I'm probably in this realm at the moment, Mars. I'm probably at the point where I need to think of something next level, and I've actually again, I'm going to, where am I? Sweetwater. Let's go to Sweetwater. To name drop, I've actually chatted to the folks at Audient recently, and I've heard from a lot of folks that they're loving Audient as sort of that next prosumer step up from the consumer stuff. So Audient, if you don't know, are I think they're UK based. Is that right? They have a big range of different audio interfaces. They've got their Evo range, which I know folks like, I think Mark, I think you use the Evo. So the Evo 4 and the Evo 8. So they're sort of more consumer grade interfaces. They do good jobs. And they've got things like the auto gain, and you've got all the, like this one, you've got 4 different inputs on the Evo 8, like really good, really well reviewed, really good quality audio interface. But they also do their ID series. And I think, in fact, if I go to the YouTube, my buddy Mike over at Creative Source Audience, I reckon he's reviewed, yeah, the ID24 and then the Evo 16. So he's reviewed a couple of those, the ID4 and the ID14. So if you look at, say, the ID14, audience, ID14, Mark II. So this is kind of where this is the brand new one, the ID. Oh, that's the 24 actually, not the 14. But this is kind of that next level up. This is that prosumer level that's sort of up there with the Apollos and that of the world. So they've got a few more like details here. So if you're connecting up, you've got optical in and out. You've got your clock there if you're connecting it up and you want to keep it in time there. You've got sends and receives in there. So it gives you a few more options. And the preamps on these things are apparently like next level good. Like you see, you got your 48 volts, but you've also got a 10 dB pad, and you've even got the high pass filter on there, so you can throw all those on there. And yeah, it gives you more functionality. It's kind of like the equivalent of the Focusrite Claret. So if you're on Focusrite, everyone knows the Scarlett interfaces, but the Claret is kind of the next level up for those. But so you can see here, like the Claret 2 Pre USB-C, like you're getting into that $400-500 range. And what you get for that is just the quality of you get some more options in there, but it's the quality of the converters and the quality of the preamps. Now, it's not something that I've used because I've always been more of an advocate of your consumer level stuff is actually good enough for most folks. But again, similar to what I was saying to Tremor Bear before about the next level and trying to use more of the plugins and more of those higher level apps, maybe it's something I need to do because the only problem I have is I have so many different interfaces that I wouldn't know what to go with. But maybe I get Audient or get them, ask them whether I can borrow one of theirs and have a bit of a look at it. So we'll see. But yeah, I've heard good things about the Audient stuff, and maybe go over to Creative Source and check out Mike's videos there as well. Brakes are indeed needed. hmm For sure. For sure indeed. Yeah, I stepped away for over 12 months. Is that Ron Ward that's there, or is that who is that on the Facebook? I know that Ron stepped away for a while and came back super refreshed. So yeah, other folks have definitely stepped away. Hello, BL Zabab. Hope you're well. Hello, Timothy. No, I'm a bit late. I've been relearning the guitar fretboard, music theory freak, and as I relearn the fretboard, it's giving me new hope for playing. Very cool. Yeah, absolutely. Go for it. Yeah, the affordable ones. Great and have the same pre's as the big consoles. There you go. Yeah, have the Evo 8. Don't use it much. Yeah, look at I don't know the Evo series like came out and they made a big splash. And I know you had one, and I know some other folks that got them, but I haven't heard much about them recently. The Arturia Mini Fuse too. Yeah, I've heard good things about that, and I know you've used that quite a lot as well. The Neumann MT48 were too rich for my blood. Yeah, you can definitely spend thousands. Anyone trying the IK Multimedia Axe IO1? I haven't used. Jade, have you used the? I reckon you've used the Axe, haven't you? I've never used any of the Axe stuff, but I thought Jade had. Could be wrong on that. But yeah. Oh, okay. So, that's the new one. Okay. No, I haven't tried this one. What does it do? It's. Okay. Interesting. So it's a guitar focused. So it's still got an instrument input, but it looks like it's a very guitar focused audio interface. Hmm. Oh yeah, and you got okay. So it's got pedals. All right. So this is probably designed to like link in with amplitude and stuff. That's pretty cool. I haven't played with it. Looks good though. So much gear. Too much gear. Too much gear to go with. There you go. I haven't. Yeah. So again, because Jade and I both, full disclosure, IK Multimedia are supporters of our channels, and they have given us both gear in the past. And look, it's not the reason I love IK Multimedia. Again, it's similar to DistroKid. Like I used DistroKid for 2 years, and then they became a channel sponsor. I used IK Multimedia stuff for a couple of years, and then they reached out and offered me to check out their new products. So I owned the iRig Pro IO for the longest time, used that a heap, and then because of them, I've tried the Pro Duo, the Quattro, their new mic, which I haven't used that much. I need to finally actually review that properly. But they make good stuff. IK Focusrite, Steinberg. I kind of put those all around that consumer grade. Like it's not gonna blow your mind, but it's also not gonna blow your bank, your budget. The audio is more natural and cleaner than the cheaper Focusrite, but that's the point. Yeah, good bang for your buck. Good stuff. Want the Tonex pedal, but I'm on the wait list. It's out of stock everywhere. Yeah, I want the nothing. I want no new gear. That being said, I have new gear. Dan Lonely Rock reviewed that one, did he? The Axe. Let's have a look because Dan does some good stuff. Let's see the Lonely Rock, the Lonely Rocker Axe. Let's see what is. There it is. So you can use it for like reamping and stuff, recording and reamping. That's the Tonex. So that's different again, is it? Although that's the Axe. Yeah, that's the Axe IO1. All right. So there you go. Go check that one out. I'll copy the link and I'll throw it here in the chat. For those playing along at home, if you want to go and check out Dan's review of that one. All right, should buy a Neumann. Everyone should buy I should buy one of the Neumann microphones. What are the Neumann 48s? The ones that cost thousands of dollars? Maybe not. Maybe not. The MT48 is $1,850 US. Yeah, I won't be shelling out for that anytime soon. Look, and again, gear isn't everything, he says, looking around at all the gear he has in his room. But it's definitely you need something decent. And I think the problem that I have is that I have a heap of the same level of stuff. So I probably need to consolidate down, and I've been saying this for how long now? 3 years. But I need to consolidate down and sell off some of my older gear and actually maybe invest in something middle of the road, just so that I can see the difference. But again, because I have used slightly higher end gear in the past, and I just haven't ever really noticed much of a difference. But maybe that's just me. All right. A few things before we finish up. I'll have a little drink of water. If you do have any questions, any final questions, please feel free to go ahead and throw them here in the chat. What else haven't we talked about? We're not releasing music. The Rangers are out of the playoffs, so I'm now with the Golden Knights. So yeah, let's go Rangers for 2024. Security. So while I was away, I used ExpressVPN, which was really good. That kept me secure at all the different places. It did mean that I had to keep logging back into places, but that was good because it said, "Hey, you seem to be at a different location." Because I was in different places, but then I was often VPNing back to home because I wanted to say if I'm logging into my bank, I wanted to say I'm actually in Adelaide, just for simplicity, just so it didn't give me different things. And plus, content related was good. So I recommend, even though I'm not sponsored by and not supported ExpressVPN, Leo Laporte recommended it. Twit network, so I use it and it works well. But yeah, please do yourself a bit of a security review because I did that recently and I found that some places I didn't have two-factor authentication and I thought I did, and some places I hadn't updated my password in like many years. So go and be secure and update your passwords. Make sure you have two-factor authentication on all the things. Did you talk about King of FM? I think Jay's got that tomorrow, doesn't she? Are you doing King of FM tomorrow? I think so. Drop a link, Jade, to your next show if you want to, because I think did I or am I making all this up? King of FM. Yeah, there it is. There she blows. I'll do. Oh, you did it yesterday. Yes, yeah, I missed it. The other thing I've been doing is you'll probably notice this, but I haven't. There you go. I'll throw the link to that one in there. I haven't been as interactive and as there and present because, again, I realized that I was trying to be everyone, everywhere, and every place, and do everything to everyone, and it wasn't working for me. So I will still be around, and I'm still contactable, and I've caught up on all my emails and messages now. I think, unless you contact me on Instagram, because I never check my Instagram messages. But if you do want to reach out to me, you do want to contact me, you do want to find out what's going on around the place, don't forget studiolivetoday.com is the place to go. And again, you can follow me on all the places there. I've just realized the one thing I don't have on here, which is really stupid, I don't have my Patreon. But that's studiolivetoday.com/Patreon. Again, you can check out all the behind the scenes. You get to see. We did some pre-holiday edition of our. I do a monthly live stream, so we'll be doing that again soon. So if you want to join more of the exclusive shows, you can join there and become part of the crew, the crowd, the club. But we are at the 1 hour mark, and I'm going to take my own advice and get in and get out. But yeah, thank you, everyone. I know we really didn't go into a lot of depth on a lot of stuff today, but I know a lot of people have been asking, and I thought, let's just put out one show with all the stuff that you might want to know about what's going on around here. What's coming up? Well, it's we're back to the usual swing of things. We've got a happy hour on the weekend. We'll be doing a live happy hour, so I'm back playing live. We'll have Your Music Live as well, episode 151, which will be kicking off on Sunday evening for many of you, Monday morning here in Australia. And then GarageBand Weekly is back. And yeah, I'll be playing with GarageBand on a brand new device. Yes, I know. I'm being that sort of person that's just going to give you that and nothing more. But if you do hang around, you'll find out everything that's going on. It's not that out there, but it's something that's a little bit different. So thank you everyone for being here. Good to be back. Thank you, Jade. Thank you, Timothy. Thank you, Beelzebub. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mars Capone. Thank you, Rhett in the Mix Club. G'day, Jeremiah. Hello and goodbye. I hope you're doing well. But yeah, thank you everyone for being here. Did I get a new iPad? Yeah, I did. Okay. I hadn't told it. You didn't miss anything, Jade. I've got a new iPad, but it's not even out of the box yet. But yes, all will be revealed in GarageBand Weekly this week. I've got to get it working because my current iPad keeps having issues with its USB capture card and everything else. So I need to do a bit of an overhaul in the studio. So that's what's happening around here tomorrow. But until next time, folks, as we say at the end of every show, please be kind to yourself, be kind to Homer. Keep creating. And I'll see you next time here on Studio Live Today. Bye for now.